we go. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 41, 42, can't check, of This Old Knit. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can find show notes for this episode on the This Old Knit podcast group in Ravelry. So I'm filming on my phone today. I apologize. I don't know where my smart card has gone for my camera. So yeah, I was gonna film and I had a couple of minutes to do it, and I thought, hey, I'll just come upstairs and do it. And then I checked my camera and there was no card in it, but I don't want to go back downstairs because then the kids will see me and they will be upset. Excuse me. So I'm going to pause for 1 second and then I will be right back. Hello again. Apparently it is episode 42, which of course it's episode 42. The answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. And it's my podiversary today. Yay! I didn't think I would be able to record, but I got out of work at a reasonable time and I've had dinner. And I realized I had cereal that I brought up here, so I had to finish that before I recorded some more. So, yay! I will start the giveaway thread in the group for the Podiversary prize. So I showed it on the last podcast, but donations from two very generous members of the group. There's this lovely skein from an anonymous viewer, and this is the Gnome Acres Scruffy Gnome in the Gnome Some Dove colorway. So it's got, blues, olive greens, taupe, and kind of a chocolatey brown. It's very pretty, one of my favorite of Amanda's colorways. So that is part of the prize. And then the other part is this lovely, generously sized project bag, which was made by Coddington. And she is also a member of the group, and she and I have chatted for a couple years now. And she's made a couple bags for the podcast, and she's very, very sweet. So that will be my 1-year Podiversary prize. So thank you all again for all of your wonderful support over the last year. It's meant a lot of changes for me in my life, a lot of life events, some good, some bad, and I appreciate you all going on the journey with me. So, yeah. So I just closed the thread for the No Makers Cal, and I haven't had time to draw for prizes, but I thought I would show one more time the prizes that I have, and yeah, remind you all of what I'm going to give away for that. So that is another lovely bag from Coddington. So it has this very fun yellow zip, and I have the larger size of this with a blue zip. Inside it's lined with this very pretty turquoise fabric. And inside I'm actually keeping the second prize. Okay. And then another prize that I have is this lovely No Makers tape measure. So it's just, a normal retractable tape measure. And, a 2016 calendar of Yarny Goodness. So those are going to be a prize together. And I know you will have missed January and February, but there was January and February But I will make sure I get this out to that to person who wins it right away so they can enjoy the rest of the year. And they're all really cute. And maybe you can just hang up some of the other pictures, because I do that with calendars that I really like the pictures of. I just hang them on my corkboard. So that's another prize. And then another prize is this lovely Mega Grab Bag mini skein bag. So it's just full of a lot of different various No Makers minis. There are a lot of different bases. Her sparkle base is in there. Her tweed base is in there. It looks like house gnome and maybe the fancy gnome. Looks like maybe one of those is fancy gnome. So that'll be a great thing to try out a lot of Amanda's different yarns and colorways to see what you like. And then the final prize was donated by Amanda from No Makers. She donated a $25 gift card for her shop for No Makers. So once I draw all of the winners, I will get you in contact with Amanda, and then she can hook you up for the gift certificate for her shop. And she does ship internationally, so it doesn't matter whether you're domestic or international. So those are the possible prizes that you can win. And I will try to get those drawn and posted probably by the end of this week. As I said last podcast, I am going into kind of a busy time at work, so I probably won't have time to do it later this week. But I will try to, do it soon. So this week was actually not super heavy on the knitting, and I'm keeping everything back inside of here. It's very generous. See? We kind of just, tried to relax a bit. Did a little bit of card making with Megwin. We did some coloring. I got her one of those adult coloring books that has kitties. So there's actually one down here. She calls this the Queen Kitty. So that was fun. We did, she cut out some of the shapes and was going to make a puppet show, which I thought was really inventive and cool. Excuse me. So we did that together, and then my one finished object for this week I actually left downstairs. So I completed another washcloth, a grandma's washcloth, with some Blue Sky organic cotton that I found in my stash, and I found a whole bunch of it actually. So I'll be knitting that up as well to get it out of my stash and to donate to charity. So I'm having a lot of fun making those dishcloths to donate. I think that's really great. It's a great cause, and I also get to whittle down the stash, which is always nice. So things that I've been working on, we'll just skip right over FOs since I don't have any. I have worked a little bit on a lot of different things this week. So I'll just kind of I'll tunnel my way down. Ooh, I do have something I'll call it a whip. This weird curl. I'm thinking I'm going to get my hair cut this weekend, hopefully. And I'm probably going to get like 4 or 5 inches cut off. I usually like to have it at my shoulder. So it'd be about that much to get it back up to my shoulders. But I will be very excited to have it shorter again because it takes so much shampoo and conditioner. It is crazy how much shampoo and conditioner that I go through. Oh, there's my tiny crochet hook. I was wondering where this was earlier today. So I have been working a little bit on Josh's other glove. So I've got the thumb on waist yarn. Maybe now, since I've got my, oh yeah, it shows. Since I have my cell phone, it will actually focus when I get closer up, so you can see the stitch pattern. It's called a pebble stitch, which I think it looks a lot like Eye of Partridge, personally. So these are like very deep charcoal gray, but they're kind of coming out a little bit green because I didn't calibrate my colors when I first started podcasting. But I basically just have to do an inch of that, and then I start the fingers. And that was pretty quick when I got to that point. So hopefully he'll get to wear them before it gets warm. But even if it's a little bit warmer, we actually will start to go camping. And then it is still cool at night and in the mornings. And he goes out to, start our fire. So they'll be useful still. Excuse me. Okay. Then speaking of fires, I worked on Josh's socks also. And I put them in this bag, which I don't think I've shown before. It's from Nitpickers. It's plastic here. And it's got kind of a vinyl bottom. But this one I take a lot when I go camping because it's quite tough. And then it also has a carabiner on this side, so I can hook it on to like my camp chair and hang it off the side. So this is in the Highland Handmaid's sock yarn, the maple sock. Yeah, Highland Handmaid's maple sock. In the I Like Burning Things With You colorway. And I really, really like how it's striping. It totally looks like flames. And the coals. And then going to the ashy gray. And it's striped very differently on the cuff than it's doing on here. And it's the same stitch count. But I did go down in needle size. So I was knitting the cuff in a 2.75 mil needle, and it actually was kind of feeling a little bit loose, so I changed to a 2.5 mil needle here, and I've been knitting 2.5 mil since then. So these are on a 72 stitch count, and I'm just doing vanilla sock pattern because that's what he likes. And I like these little pops of blue. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, these little pops of like a really light blue, like blue flames. It's just so cool. I've never seen anything like it. And I saw it on the Knitting in Circles podcast, which they don't podcast anymore, but they said that I could request a custom die, so I did. And she did a fabulous job. So that is the socks. And then this is going to be probably a short podcast, but that's okay because my phone only records in increments of like 25 minutes and my battery's low. So the next things that I worked on were some Hexie Puffs, and I posted these on Instagram. But this is all my Hexie Puffs that I knit for February for the Team Polar Bear. So I've got them separated so I can count the points. So this one was in a mini skein I got from Coddington of Socks That Rock medium weight. This one was another one she sent me in Misty Alpaca sock. And this one I believe is No Makers. It's either No Makers or Crafts Meow, and I can't remember which it is. I feel like it's No Makers, and I got it in the Summer Treats bundle. And then this one was leftovers from my Patton's Croy Meadow Stripes socks. And I ran out at the very bottom, so it's a teeny, teeny bit of Knit Picks. Shoot, it was their alpaca sock base. I don't think they make it anymore. Imagination. Their Imagination sock yarn. So, looks like I made 9 or 10 Hexie Puffs for this month, which wasn't too bad. And I actually made another one, but I lost my little crochet hook till just now. So this one's done and ready to close up and stuff. but as I said, I couldn't find my crochet hook. So it's actually on the sparkle gnome base, which I don't know if it's not picking up the sparkle at all. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm gonna add all these to actually tie them on my blanket, because I'm also participating in the A Wee Bit Blanky Cow in the A Wee Bit Knitty podcast group. So that's been really fun to see everybody's progress on their blankets, and it really makes me want to do another 10-stitch blanket that's all with sock weight yarn, which is crazy because I already have one on the needles. But you can never have too many blankets on the needles, right? Right? Okay, there's my husband's other glove. Oh, I could show you this one now, since you can see a little bit more detail of the fingers. And this rib is terrible to knit, but it is very pretty. It's called a braided rib. Let's see. And then I worked on another pair of socks for me. So these are from Wool Silk Lace, and it is her Stellina base. I don't remember what the Stellina base is called, but it's Nighttime Fireworks is what this colorway is. So it's an alternating self-striping of navy blue and then this variegated. It's super cool. So this is just my normal 64 stitch sock on 2.75 mil needles. And I have to say that either I've been knitting with some really thick sock yarn, or my gauge has changed slightly, because the 64 stitches seem to be a little bit loose. So the Volanvine ones that I made, they're actually a little bit looser than I would like my socks to be. So I'm wondering if I need to go down to a 2.5 as my standard, or if I need to knit with 60 stitches. So I may experiment with doing it with 60, because I have a lot of 2.75 mil needles, because that has been my sock needle for years, for probably 12 years at this point. So it's very weird that all of a sudden it's not working for me. So I don't know, I'm either loosening up, or maybe I'm just knitting with some fatter sock yarns. That could be too. Because I actually, my Regia socks that I had been striping with 2 colors, these are way too big. So they just stretch so much. They're just way too big. And this is a 64 stitch sock. So here, I'll show you with my hand. I mean, my leg is not that big. So I could put these like up on my calf, and they were just barely tightening around it. So I'm going to rip these out and re-knit them with, I'm going to try these with the 60 stitches and see what I think of that. So that will be my experiment on whether 60 stitches with 2.75 works for me, because I do like the fabric I'm getting. So see, it's a nice dense fabric at 2.75. So I don't want to make that any tighter of a fabric, really, or they're going to be bulletproof socks. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the last thing that I've been knitting on, which it's probably going to cut me off, so maybe I should wait. Yeah, I'm actually almost at the end of a row. So what I will do is I will stop, and then I will start again after I get to the end of my row, so I can properly show you the shawl. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to actually charge my phone because it was dying, like I said, so I went and did a couple rows on my shawl, which I then screwed up once, so I had to fix it. But anyway, this is my Across the Pond shawl by Mina Phillip, and it is knit in Gnome Acres House Gnome. It's a doppelganger set, and very gnomey. And then I think the other one is grape. Oh boy, something with grape in it. The solid. So I can see the eyelets. The eyelets are really cool the way that they're made. And this is actually my probably favorite colorway of No Maker's yarn. I love the dark plummy purples, the raspberry color, the white, and the sky blue together. I just think it's a beautiful combination, and it's going to match a lot of stuff for me. So I am up to, I think, the 10th or 11th repeat on this. So it's very long this way, but not extremely deep this way. I imagine it's going to get a bit deeper with blocking, and then of course the applied lace edging, or it's not an applied lace edging, I think it's actually just a lace edging, but I'm not sure. I haven't read that far along in the pattern yet. So it's a paid for pattern, but Mina is amazing, and you should go check out her designs because they're very cool and different. I love this stitch pattern. It's very floofy, so it's going to be super nice. And then I've got the solid color because I'm an eternal optimist when I pack my knitting, and I always think I'm going to knit all the things, even though I'll be lucky if I get like a row of sock done at work because I don't even take lunch half the time. Today I had a meeting that was all through lunch an hour before, so yeah, I didn't get to knit at all, but that's okay. So that will be the sort of plummy edging, and I'm going to use that for the lace. That's pretty true to color. So I'm pretty excited with how that's turning out. It's going very quickly. It's a very well written pattern. Oh my, there's a mini skein that's exploding in my bag here. Oh boy. That is no good. No good. And it's getting worse. Okay, give me 1 second. Mini skein down. Just gonna get it rewound here. I'm not even sure what this one is. I'm thinking it is an opal, potentially. I've just wound it back on itself. I'm not sure what I just did because I thought that this was the middle. It's certainly coming out like it's the middle. That's odd. Okay. I'll figure that out later, I guess. Podcaster error. Okay, so new cast-ons that I'm contemplating. Like I need any more whips, right? But I'm thinking about some nonetheless. So the first one leads me into, oh wait, my blanket. I worked on my blanket too. I finished that little ball that I had. I think I showed it last time, or two times ago. I'd show my blanket in a little bit. So I've just done, you know, this bit here, but I did finish that little ball of yarn, which is great. So I joined another ball. So for those just joining me, this is the 10 stitch blanket by Frankie Brown, and I am knitting it out of Cascade Eco Duo, which is an alpaca wool blend in, I believe it's the Thunderstorm colorway. They're all numbers, so you have to look online to get the color. and this is how the yarn patterns itself. This is a great pattern. It's a free pattern, but she does suggest that if you like her patterns, you can donate to the charity that she has a link to in her pattern. So that's that. So I'm thinking about starting another one actually with some fingering weight yarn, like I said, because I have some fingering weight yarns that are too thin for the gauge that I'm knitting my Hexie Puffs at. So they end up being very like fine, and you can see through them and you can see the batting through them. So I need to use them in something else. So I'm thinking a scrappy blanket like that wouldn't be too bad, because then I could just go until it finishes the ball, or the mini skein, and then add in the next one and weave in the ends. So it wouldn't be as many ends to weave in as the little teeny tiny mitered square blanket. That is all the whips in my bottomless bag of whips. Okay, my camera cut off on me, so I'm sorry about that. It only recorded like 6 minutes and then it cut off. I don't know what happened. My whips away, and then I will talk through the next cowl that we're getting ready to start, and also acquisitions and projects that I'm hoping to cast on soon. So the next cowl that we are going to be doing is the Woolen Vine cowl. So it starts today, March 1st, and it goes through April 31st. So 2 months, just like the No Makers one. The difference here is that Kristen actually is also a pattern designer. So for those of you who cannot get her yarn, which I understand it's difficult to get, and for some people internationally it may be more difficult because she just started doing international friendly updates. So she's releasing a new pattern today called Wildesmeer. So you can either knit one of her patterns, and she actually has several, or you can use Woolen Vine yarn to create whatever you want to create. So you could just knit, like I said, squares into your blanket if you've gotten some minis of Woolen Vine, or you can use one of Kristen's patterns, or you can knit with some of her yarn. So I am hoping to cast on for a Because I Love You wrap with some Woolen Vine yarn and another yarn. So I posted this on Instagram recently, and I'm sorry for the crinkling. I have it in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to use this yarn, which is her one of her Christmas yarns, and the name is eluding me right now. Deck the Halls, I think. So it's a speckly red and green with kind of some hints of a little bit of blue, maybe. Excuse me. And I am going to stripe it with this, which you can tell I actually started a sock from the Alana Dakos book, and it was way too small, so it did not stretch enough at all to get over my heel. I thought about making the mittens in this pattern because it looks really pretty in this stitch pattern. I think it's in the first Botanical Knits, but I'm not positive of that. It could be in the second one. But yeah, I'm just gonna frog it. The kids are not getting along right now. There's a lot of, "Oh, no, Bobby, no!" So I will not be able to podcast for much longer anyway. So I'm going to do these two together. And hopefully they don't look too Christmassy, but I don't even care if they do, because I really like them. Even if I just end up with a Christmas Because I Love You wrap, that's okay. Because I don't care. So I'm going to use those two. This one is Handmade in Casbah. It's a sock yarn, MCN, and it's dyed in Canada. And I've had it for a long time. It was before Megan was born that I got it, because I have a picture of me coming back from the wool gathering, and I was pregnant with her, so she is 6. So it's at least 7-year-old stash. So we'll be happy to use that up. And then the other things that I would like to do during the knit along is I'd like to use this yarn, which is the Hint of Moss yarn. This one is in her Smitten DK base, and I want to make a Schwimmen hat out of this by Shannon Cook. So she's the one who designed the Lalo shawl, and at the same time I bought the Schwimmen pattern. So it has these really cool speckles like moss. So a hint of moss. And it is just a slouchy hat with lace pattern, and I think it'll be perfect for spring as the weather warms up a little bit. So that is another idea. And then that transitions into acquisitions. So I placed a custom order with Kristen, and I got it a few weeks ago, I think. And I wanted to make a sweater, a penny candy tee. And I bought 2 skeins of Jilted Rose like a year ago. When she first came out with this color at Valentine's Day, I fell completely and totally in love with it. And I originally was thinking a shawl. And then I thought, penny candy tee with the succulents colorway. Wouldn't that be beautiful? So I've had my eye out for succulents when it would come into her shop. But there were never enough skeins for me to make this sweater. So Kristen graciously said she would dye some for me because she was doing some for a shop update. And so she got me some, and I bought some other things at the same time. But yeah, so I got 2 skeins of the Succulents colorway, which you can tell is very similar to a Hint of Moss, but it doesn't have those dark green speckles. So it's got very, very lovely icy greens and kind of warm greens. So I'm going to do these 2 together for my penny candy tee. The rose color will be the lace. So the dominant color will probably be the rose color. And then this color will be the coordinating stripe. And I think that's just going to be gorgeous. And then whatever I have left, if I have enough left of the succulents, I might make a stripy shawl or something else. But I definitely won't let any of it go to waste. So this is on the Strasser base, which she no longer carries. So I got these in the Footsie base, which is about the same weight. So I think they're going to work really great together. And I love BFL, so I don't care. Yeah, I'm so excited about that. So excited. It's going to be so pretty. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm very, very excited about that, if you can't tell. Could I say very, very excited a couple more times? And yeah, so that is everything that I have to share with you this week. And like I said, the Wool and Vine Yarns knit along starts today, so I will make the threads as soon as I go downstairs after I get the kids ready for bed and start the podcast editing. Then I will do that. I will try to draw for winners this week. And again, thank you everyone for your wonderful support and kind words and, you know, sharing with me on Instagram. I chat with quite a few people on Instagram, and I've just really enjoyed getting to know everybody. And you've all been so supportive over the last year, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and you're all wonderful. Yes, that is all I've got for this week. I will quickly show you my rearranged yarn area because I did a bit of straightening. So over here, I've got my fabrics. There's not a ton, but these are all ones from when I was a child. So I cut a bunch of fabric into squares to make a scrappy quilt from leftovers from different clothes that I made or that my mom made for me. And I've obviously got my sewing books there. And then here, I've got this lovely basket which I was pulling out of. So these are my Wool and Vine yarns in the front. They're on top of some bagged yarn that I've got. A lovely skein I got from Norway. Some of my no makers in the back. And then more Wool and Vine here. Too much Wool and Vine. Can you ever have too much Wool and Vine? And then over here, there's my lovely iron. Beautiful, isn't it? Here I've got my Knit Picks Felici. And there's a couple of other things, some Patton's Croy, my leftovers of my West Yorkshire spinners. Here in the front I've got some Tuft Woolens, and here's my camera case I use. This is my first hand spun. Ooh. This is hard to do facing forward. And then here I've got my bags, my project bags, and then I have a couple of tubs of, these are minis and hexapuffs that I haven't yet tied onto my blanket. And then some spinning fiber and an angry baby downstairs. Some sweater quantities of yarn that I've bagged up, and I have some in the front I need to do stuff with. They're just kind of single skeins of stuff that I haven't decided what I'm going to do with. And then over here I've got my couple of cross-stitch kits from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery that I haven't yet stitched up, but I wanted to have them all in one place nicely. So that's kind of what I've done with my yarn area. And I thought I would show you because I'm pretty proud of it. It was kind of a mess. I posted a before picture on Instagram and I didn't think I would get it done so quickly, but I am very happy with the results, and it's making me enjoy this room more to have it all straightened and nice. So anyway, with that, I will leave you, and I hope you all have a lovely week, and I will talk to you next time. I hope you get to spend this week enjoying some things that you love, and happy knitting. Bye-bye.